Hello and welcome to the Women Empowerment Show at Sangat TV. My name is Dali Panesar. I'll be your host for today's show. And to start off the show, I just wanted to talk about how people have these amazing creative gifts that they have in life, and they use those gifts, take them forward and become amazing leaders. Especially women, they have empowering gifts to offer, and they can create such amazing things from that as well. Especially in today's day and age, they become great leaders and great leaderships. And today's show is about women empowerment and how we can help women to empower each other and discuss women empowerment as well. So on today's show, that's exactly what we will be doing. We'll be discussing women empowerment with an exceptional guest speaker who I would say is the epitome of women empowerment in today's society. We'll also be talking to you about the amazing charities that help women to become empowered. In particular, we'll be talking about the amazing initiative from the Train the Teacher program from the Kalgidhar Trust SAHIB, who help women to become empowered through the Train the Teacher program. So I'll be talking to you about that as well. So on today's show, I just want to now introduce our guest speaker. I'm extremely humbled. I'm extremely excited to introduce this exceptional guest speaker. She's extremely dynamic, extremely inspiring, and every week this amazing lady appears on our national TV screens, I'd say at least twice a week, acting out a role which is empowering and dynamic. In a modern Punjabi household in the popular BBC soap opera EastEnders, and plays the amazing role of Suki Panesar. She's also acted in many other soap operas as well, including Coronation Street, Emmerdale, also worked in radio and theatre. And Balvinder was nominated in 2020 for the Best Newcomer in the Digital Spy Reader Awards. In 2021, nominated for the Best Actress at the Inside Soap Awards. In 2022, which just recently won the Asian Media Awards and won the Best Award for Best TV Character. So I'd like to give a very big warm welcome to the incredible, talented Balvinder Sopal. Welcome to the show, Balvinder. How are you?
Thank you. I'm really well, thank you. What an introduction. That's like, you pulled them all out.
I have to say, I feel really starstruck right now, and I probably have done for quite a while. So it's an absolute honour to meet you, and thank you so much for coming on our show. And we just wanted to congratulate you from behalf of all the viewers on all your amazing success. So yeah, congratulations, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you. I'm humbled to be invited as well and to have a chat with you. So I'm feeling a bit nervous. But yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So Balvinder, I wanted to ask you, what did it feel like to win the award of Best TV Character? What did that feel like? Because that must have been extremely amazing.
Yes, it was. I wasn't expecting it because I guess, I don't know, you just never do, you know. And also I was in a category with lots of other fantastic actors, and yeah, I what was really funny is that we were sat at the front of the hall or the sort of venue, and all the winners were coming from the back of the venue. So like, it's not going to go my way. We're all right, you know. And then when they announced the category, I literally, like, my heart was like here in my throat. I just thought, gosh, please. Like, I almost didn't want them to say my name because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get up there. And then when they said my name, my knees went. I literally went sort of, I couldn't hear and I couldn't see for about 5 seconds. Like, everything just sort of shut down. And then I got up and I just thought, gosh, now I'm going to have to go up there and give a speech, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. Yeah. And I don't know how I made it from our table to the stage, but it was incredible for many reasons. But I think the main reason is that our community, where I come from, were the people that were accepting or acknowledging the work that was being shown on the telly with regards to this family, this character, you know, all the complexities and, you know, the situations that the character finds herself in, that they were, that people were sort of acknowledging that from my community. So I was very honoured, actually.
Yeah, and you looked amazing as well, and I think it was an award that was extremely overdue. I think you deserved that award, you know. As you said, the character that you play is amazing, and I think, you know, to be recognised for that is incredible. So well done to you, Balvinder. That was absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure everybody's feeling the same way, that it should be recognised. It's an incredible award to win. So Balvinder, tell us, like, how did your journey start in acting? Was it always one of your passions?
Yes, I think so. I think from the minute I could walk and talk, I was sort of, you know, always acting things out, you know. We would watch Bollywood films a lot. And I think, you know, we would reenact certain scenes. We got quite a large family, so all my cousins and my brothers and sisters would all get together and just, you know, reenact certain scenes and just play dress up a lot.
Oh, wow.
We used to, you know, so we had a not wild imagination, but we were quite imaginative as children, you know, so we would play lots of games where we would dress up and play different characters. We used to play Neighbours. So, you know, the show Neighbours, well, we used to do that in our own house. So we'd have our bedrooms as neighbours. So we would be number 56 and they'd be number 58, and we'd just knock on the door and go, oh, hello, we're here for some tea. And just, you know, silly little things like that. So sort of always living in a make-believe world. And then I started to sort of really enjoy watching the Bollywood movies that would, you know, kind of be on every Saturday, and my mum would have all the kids from like literally the street sitting down and, you know, watching. And then I just think I wanted to always pursue it. And I went and did, I wanted to do performing arts at A level, but that never happened because I think mum and dad were like, look, maybe you should sort of look for something a little bit more substantial, you know, go for something solid, something like, you know, like do maths or something like that. But of course, me and numbers don't work. I can't, like, I break out in a sweat. No, I just don't even ask me. So I was like, okay, fine. And then they were like, business, why don't you do something, you know, related to business? And I just thought, okay, well, you know, you take your GCSEs and then you go and do sort of A levels or a GMVQ. I did a GMVQ in business.
Oh, wow.
And I just thought, there's no way I'm going to do this at uni, because I just found it really dry. It didn't spark my imagination. It didn't make me excited to go to school or, you know, college in the mornings. Or, you know, I was just like, this is really sucking the life out of me. And then I just said to mum and dad, I really want to do performing arts and I'd like to do that at university. So, you know, can I? And they were like, they weren't keen, because I think as parents from a South Asian background, they always worry that it's never going to get you anywhere. You know, you're never going to make enough money. You're not going to have the standing in the community and all of that kind of stuff. And when all of those sort of they're not negative feelings neither. They're worries, you know, they're anxieties. And I understand that. But when they were saying all of this to me, I thought, right, somewhere in my heart, I just went, I need to make this work. So whatever I'm going to do, I need to make sure that I am making money and I'm doing it by enjoying what I do. And I never wanted them to ever worry about me, or that I would never be able to pay the rent or pay the bills or look after myself or anything like that. And so, yeah, here I am.
That's incredible. Like, was it something that when you were younger, did you, as you said, you enjoyed watching films and Bollywood films, did you always think, yeah, you know, I want to be in a film, or I want to be in something?
Yeah.
You know, that's really nice, you know, that you thought that at such a young age, but then went on to pursue it as well. That takes a lot of courage, because I know, like, and you know, it's always easy to say, yeah, do medicine or dentistry or you know, anything, like you said, maths. But to go into performing arts, and you said you did a degree in performing arts, that's astounding. That's amazing. I think it's very brave of you to do that. I think that's really nice.
Particularly that it's not a job that, you know, our parents sort of deemed respectable in a way. I suppose you sort of go in completely the opposite direction. But But my thing is, you know, we are a culture of people that tell stories. You know, stories are told and passed on from our great grandparents to our grandparents to our parents to aunties and uncles, and you learn about the community through stories, you know, and that's the whole point of creating art. It's about telling story, it's about finding a human connection. So for me it made complete sense, you know. Yes, of course I'm gonna, you know, earning money is one of the things, but actually making a difference in people's lives, for me was a greater need, really. Because I mean, let's be honest, you know, going into theatre or whatever, it's a poor man's job. You're not going to be making millions, you know. So you have to really love the journey and the course and the path that it takes you on, because it's not easy. So but
no, I think it's incredible, and it just shows that, you know, as we touched on just at the start of the show, it's about the gifts that you have within you, and it's about, you know, sharing those gifts. You know, you're obviously very talented, and it's about getting those gifts out in the world and pursuing your passion. Sometimes pursuing your passion can be the very thing that will make you a success, and I think that's what I can see, you know, from your story, really, that Balvinder, is that you chose to take that path, which is fabulous.
Yeah, thanks. I think the only way to make a difference or to be successful is to follow your passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you enjoy what you're doing, and you're going to excel at what you enjoy, surely. Yeah,
that's it. So Balvinder, you've had some incredible roles, you know, like your current role, Suki Panesar, which is extremely empowering. We'll definitely come on to that. But you've also been in other soap operas as well. So I think it was PC Khan in Emmerdale, and then PC Marks in Coronation Street, which are other very popular soap operas as well. And both, I'd say all of them, are really empowering roles for women. How are they to play? Like, did you find them quite empowering roles to play?
It's interesting that you say empowering. I guess from a visibility point of view, it's empowering, because you can see that a person from a culturally diverse background is on a mainstream soap playing, you know, a character. But I always felt I was only there to push somebody else's story on. And often people from culturally diverse backgrounds are seen that way, to help somebody else's story, which is great. But I wanted to be in a position where, you know, we were telling stories about ourselves, and I was aiding that story, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, PC Khan on Emmerdale, I think, if I'm not wrong, was the first hijab wearing PC on the soap. Yeah, so that's incredible. Great, you know, for the soap, that they kind of, the visibility element is there. We're also showing women in kind of strong, powerful roles. They're not being seen as, you know, sort of in the background, or women that don't have agency, that don't are not able to make decisions for themselves and all that kind of stuff. So you know, so they were forward kind of positive sort of roles. So in that aspect, I was like, okay, this is great. So, you know, this is a stepping stone, and then we'll move on, and, you know, we'll sort of rise up the ladder, and be in a position where the story is all about us. But yeah,
it's amazing, because, you know, as we're saying, we don't see many women, you know, police officers, especially on soap operas. It was really good to see that. It was really good to see you play those, and you played them really well as well. And then coming on to the amazing Suki Panesar, now that role, I think, has been really inspiring for a lot of women out there. When we watch you play that, I think it's really made us, you know, that must be incredible to play that role. How do you find that to play that role?
Incredible is a good word. And it's quite overwhelming as well, because for the first time in my life, I feel like, well, for me anyway, like, obviously there are lots of other actresses out there that have been, you know, have been doing sort of putting us on the map, you know, and sort of making us visible. But for me, it's when people who are not from our background come up and go, your character is really strong, isn't she? Like, wow. And it happened only the other day. I was, just locally, I'd gone to get a coffee, and we were queuing up. I'd got my coffee and I sort of walked past the queue to get out.
Yeah.
And this mother and daughter, stopped me and just went, your character, like, she's just completely so powerful and so strong. Like, she's a really strong character. Like, these, and I was like, thank you. And it wasn't somebody from our culturally diverse background. It was a lady from the white community,
Yeah.
And I just thought that's really excellent, because they don't often see us women in that kind of light.
Yeah.
We are often covered up, or we don't have the right to speak or the right to education, and so we're not seen as women that can make a difference. And then of course Suki Panesar has a whole load of she's a businesswoman, she's a family woman, and then she is also a woman who's discovering or trying to work out who she is in the tapestry of her life, the whole sexuality situation as well. Like, it's great that we're having those conversations. It's great that people are seeing themselves, and maybe if they're not seeing themselves, they can still understand the emotions, because that's what it's about. It's about finding the connection for people to go, I don't understand that, but I feel for her. And do you know what I mean? So it is an incredible journey. And Suki Panesar is a beast of a character. I wasn't sure I'd be able to play her. I was like, this is, because she's not she's a lot older than I am. She's lived a very different life to what I have. And so I wasn't convinced myself that I would be able to bring that gravitas and that weight to such a huge character. And I remember having conversations with the producers, and they were like, you know what, Bal, we think you're just a little bit scared, but actually you can step into those shoes, because they do fit. So just, let yourself go. And I guess I was always worried about what the community would think, and what, you're always worried about backlash, aren't you? You're always worried about people saying, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be saying that, and you need to behave this way. And there are certain paths that we're supposed to follow. And so I was a little bit scared in that aspect, and I still am, but if we don't chip away slowly, we're never going to get to,
I love Suki Panesar. She's so inspiring to see. As you said, she has the role of a mother, and she's like looking after the family. She's a businesswoman, and you see these day-to-day challenges that it's what she's facing, but you play it really well. And honestly, it's incredible to see you act that out, because it's like, you can relate to it. Everybody can connect to that. We do go through these challenges in life, and it's really good that you're acting out this amazing character, but throughout that, that character always shows strength, and that's what I love. It's a very strong character, and I think it's really good to see that, no matter what you go through, no matter what you face, you can still keep standing. And literally that's what I see in that role that you play. I think it's incredible.
Oh, great.
It's inspiring so many people out there, not just women, I think men as well. I think it's amazing. And so incredible role there, Bal.
Thank you.
Really, you play it really well.
Thank you. But I mean, it takes a village, to sort of create a character like that. So there's a lot of people that input, obviously the writers, the directors, and the production team, and then also the team on the floor. So all the family and other people that Suki interacts with. We all make it work, and it's a give and take, on set. So there's a real harmony when we're on set, to make sure that the characters have the space and the time to tell the stories that they need, and that has an impact for people. And it's great. And then you receive messages, on the daily, via different social media platforms, and they make me cry sometimes, because I go, gosh, like it is so great to be helping people. It is so great for people to go, I see myself, thank you. That's it. That is it. So so inadvertently you're helping people as well,
by playing these roles. And people, and I think a lot of younger people enjoy watching it now, especially because there is this Punjabi family in EastEnders now, and they enjoy watching that, and from that, that can help them with their own personal things as well. So it's incredible.
One of the things that we were really keen on was making sure that we retained the culture as much as you can on a soap like EastEnders. So we were really adamant that we needed to bring in Punjabi lines, and also that Suki pronounced the names of her children properly. We didn't anglicise them. We did it like we do at home and stuff. So it's really important that we showed who we were rather than who people think we should be, you know. And so for me, we're always pushing the Punjabi, and now, before we used to, can I just say this? It would have to be approved and everything. But because we've been there a good 3 years, now we get on the floor and go, we're going to say this in Punjabi. Is that all right? That's okay, isn't it? And so long as the story isn't lost, and we'll always make sure that if Suki says a line in Punjabi, the correlating line absolutely makes sense, so you don't get lost, or if anybody says, absolutely, so I can't think of an example now, but I think in one scene, Nishandeep is cooking and he goes to put garam masala in, and Suki goes, garam masala baad vich paida, and he goes, I think I know how to make a fish curry, so you can understand that she's kind of gone, you don't do that, you do this, and he's like, I think I can make a fish curry. Do you know what I mean? So you understand that there is some level of conversation, and you just get it. So and of course, if you don't get it, that's okay too, because how much of life do we actually get? Like I'll go and watch a Shakespeare play and I'll only maybe get 50, 60, 70% of it. The rest of the 30%, I'm left in the dark to make up my own mind, you know what I mean? And I'm an actor, I'm supposedly supposed to know. So I just think, we just got to free flow sometimes and just go with the feeling, rather than what we have been told. Do you know what I mean? So I think just step outside the boxes. Even the audience, they can just step outside the box. It's all right. You don't need to know everything. You can get a sense of what's happening. So
I think it's great using Punjabi lines in there. I know when I've watched it, I'm like, that's brilliant. It's so great,
isn't it? Yeah. But when you hear the Punjabi, you go, oh my God, I totally understand. Oh my God, she just said that. Or, it's brilliant. And I had somebody come up and like my dad he loves like social media. So he'll sit there, even my mum as well. Yeah. When we've been on, they'll go on to social media and they go, oh, such and such saying this about Girit. Oh my God, somebody said this about Vinny. Oh, Suki Panesar, they're saying this about you. And I'm like, I'm not really, But then there was one line where the two lads, Girit and Ravi, have a fight outside the Vic. And she's like, oh yeah, Girit Tamasha ho raha, like that. And so many people sent a message going, love that Tamasha line. I'm like, exactly. But that's what, my dad always says to us, Girit Tamasha ho raha. Like, why are you shouting? Like, just calm down. You don't need to cause a drama all the time.
Yeah.
I just love it because it reminds me of home. It's who we are. And our thing is, we're not making any apologies for who we are. You take us the way we are, and we're not explaining anything to anybody. We're just there. I'm sick of explaining who we are and why we are,
that's what I love. It's literally as you said, this is who we are, this is how we are as a culture, this is how we say things, this is how we do things. And it's brilliant to get that on TV, because I think as you said, it encourages more people to watch it. And I think it's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. Keep saying them. Keep saying the Punjabi words.
Just for you, darling.
and then we're going on. EastEnders. I grew up with EastEnders. I think when I was in my early teens, on a Sunday, I used to watch the omnibus. Like on a Sunday, used to come on for like 5 hours, and used to get ready. But what's it like on Albert Square? Was it something that you watched when you were younger?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
And then to be on Albert Square, what's that feeling like? It must be like, wow, I'm actually here.
It was very strange. It's quite surreal, actually. I just never imagined that it would be my life, because we used to do the omnibus as well. So mum and dad would be cooking roast on a Sunday, or making food on a Sunday. And then we'd be getting our school uniforms ready, making sure our bedrooms were tidy. And once all of that was done, we could sit down and watch EastEnders. My brother is an avid fan, and he used to love watching it on the Sunday. We'd all be sat there, designated spaces on the sofas, just glued to the set. And then 20 years later, or however many years later, I get a call and I'm like, this is not true. Like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. I was like, fine. I went on my first time. My first scene was in the cafe with Jean Slater.
Yeah.
And I walked on set and I had no idea where I was going. And I just went, oh my God. Like, can I please just, you know, and everything was going at the pace of like 100 miles per hour. And then they changed the line and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to mess the line up because I've rehearsed it this way, you know, because when you don't know how things work, you just want to make sure that you are optimum when you walk in, that you know everything, and you know you're not going to be the one that messes things up and slows things down. But one line literally made my head spin and I was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't get it wrong. And then when we started filming, it was over like that, and I just thought, gosh, what just happened? And then the second time I was actually on the square, so we went out into the square, walked past the Vic on the left. This was the old square at the time, because we're now on a new square. And yeah, so the Vic's on my left, and then we walked down where the markets is, a Bridge Street, and I was just like, can I just stop, please? Because I haven't walked around, I haven't been shown any of this, I just need to soak it up. And I could hear Angie and Den arguing in the pub, I could hear Michelle and Lofty, I could hear Mary with a baby crying, Dr. Legg behind me, all these people who we'd grown up watching, literally all their voices were just in my head. And I was like, I am walking in the same footsteps as these people that we used to watch. It was a really extraordinary, surreal moment. And I can't explain. Like, it just felt so epic and so big. And yet there was me, like, on the set, you know, on the square. It was just an amazing moment. And I still have moments like that. I'll go on and I'll be, you know, when we get a moment to just sort of stop while they're setting cameras up or, you know, sorting lighting out, I'm just like, wow. I do this for a living. I can't believe it.
Oh wow! I mean, that's what I mean. It must be incredible to be on the set. I mean, that in itself is, as you said, you get that wow feeling, and it's just so nice. Just to hear that from you as well. That, you know, what it's like there. I know for me, the famous thing is the Queen and the Queen Vic. I know everybody's grown up with the Queen.
Absolutely. But all of that, we loved the cafe, you see. The cafe and the laundrette were, you know, the things that we used to like. And I don't know why. I think maybe because Pauline and Dot used to spend a lot of time in the laundrette, and they were the characters that we really liked, you know, because they were proper old fishwives, weren't they? It was brilliant. But I took my mum and dad, I took my whole family. It was Mum's birthday early this year, in July, and we took them up there to have a look, and they were speechless. They were just like, wow. And then we showed them around as well, and I didn't know where all the sets were as well, because you only sort of go to wherever you're filming, you see, so you might not use all of the sets. So some of the houses that we haven't really filmed in, we might never be in them, and I didn't know as well. But when I took them around, I realised actually how big the set is. You know, there's so much to it. It's literally like a village, like a whole village, you know.
Wow. Sprawling,
and lots of like houses and little kind of, you know, little spaces, and, you know, I don't want to say too much because obviously I don't want to ruin the illusion, but they literally were like, take a picture of this, take a picture of that, take a picture of this, take a picture of me standing here, you know. There's loads of, like, we've got over 1,000 pictures of the day, combined, you know. But they were just speechless, you know. And my sister, she was walking down with me down one of the walkways, and she was like, Bindle, you do this for a living, mate. I said, I know. I can't believe it. I said, listen, I'm like that every day.
They must be so proud, you know, Balvinder of you. And I think it's really nice you took your mum there as well. I think that's lovely, especially on her birthday. That's so nice.
She didn't know as well. We were kind of keeping it a secret, and there was loads of stuff going off at home, and I was like, no, we've got to go. Like, everybody's poised to come. Even my brother, who very rarely makes family occasions because he's so busy, he's coming. He did this time. He did this time. He was there first. He was like, come on, I want to see it. So yeah, no, it's great. It was great. And they had the best day, and it made me feel so proud as well, you know. And my nieces came as well, you know, who were 9 and 5, and they were just like, Massey, this is where you work. I was like, yeah, baby, this is where your Massey works.
Oh, that's so nice. That's incredible. So it's so nice. And again, they must be all super proud of you, as much as we are. They must be incredibly proud of you, Balvinder. That's really
they
nice. So Balvinder, you've been in, when I read about you, you've been in over 24 stage performances.
Oh, have I? Didn't even know that.
Blew me away. I was like, wow. And like some of which, Storm in the Chai Cup 2015.
Yeah.
Partition. But also you've done an amazing radio performance for Radio 4, which was Madhur Jaffrey's An Invitation to Indian Cooking by Madhur Jaffrey. Wow. Like I didn't even know that you had gone into these other streams as well. Like, please tell us more about these amazing things that you've done.
So I started in theatre, and then radio happened. So radio and theatre are my forte, actually. It's where I it's bread and butter. It's what it's what brings the money in. Well, not theatre, I mean there's hardly any money in theatre, but it's where I started, and I never imagined that telly would happen, but I love theatre. I absolutely love being on stage. There's something really visceral and magical about being on stage and communicating with an audience and being in the same space at the same time, you know. And it literally is a dialogue between actor and audience, and when you get that synergy just right, like it blows your mind, because you can hear a pin drop, you know, people are there listening. And there's this thing I read somewhere, I can't remember who said it, but a famous theatre director said, the theatre is the only, or even a music concert is the only place you'll go where everybody's heart beats the same.
Wow. Because
you're experiencing the same kind of emotions and feelings at the same time. So you sort of you tend to sympathize, or you know, you kind of become an orchestra together, which means that we're all connected, all in the same place. And that's what I love about theatre, is that we are all there, alive, in one place.
That's really nice. I never even knew that. That's incredible. But it kind of makes sense as well. Like, you know, everybody just watching, engaging, connecting all at the same time. And you kind
except for the 2 people sleeping at the front, but
there's always,
often on a matinee.
That's not me, by the
way. No, me neither, ever. But yeah, there's something really profound about that.
No, yeah, it's like I didn't even realise you'd done so many, which was really nice to see. But then the radio that you mentioned, the Invitation to Indian Cooking by Madhur Jaffrey, I grew up on that book. I know my mum used to have that book in the kitchen, right? It used to be really big in our house, Madhur Jaffrey. Yeah. But to hear that you've done, you know, something on radio, it's like a series. That's so great. You know, how did you find that?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. One of the reasons was because it was written by Anjum Malik, who is a fantastic theatre and radio writer, and she's a very good friend of mine. And also Archie Punjabi was in it. Okay. Archie Punjabi played Madhur Jaffrey, and this was the first time working with Archie Punjabi, and I've seen her on screen, and I've watched her and grown up with her. Archie Punjabi and Balvinder Nagra, you know, those were the women that you were kind of looking up to, because they were the brown faces at the time. Also Mira Sayal and Nina Wadia, but they were of a different generation. So, and I was just like, wow, you know, and it was awe-inspiring to be, you know, doing a radio play with Archie Punjabi, like, and she was exquisite, so professional, so on it, and just such a lovely human being as well, you know. And that always makes it so much nicer when the person that you admire is a nice human being. And the show, the radio series as well itself was so brilliant, because again, if you're looking at sort of, strong female figures, empowering female figures, Mother Jaffrey is one of them.
Yes.
She led an extraordinary life, moving at different parts of the world, following her dream, even going against sort of some of her mother's wishes, marrying the person that she wasn't supposed to, and then having various love affairs and all of that kind of stuff, and also creating this amazing space that brought women together, or people who cook together, sort of sharing her expertise and her knowledge on food, and just it was really lovely to learn a little bit more about this woman who we saw as a cook, but she led this extraordinary 3D life. I was very inspired by her her story.
That's really good, and I would encourage everybody to listen to those series. I know they're still available, and you can listen to them. But I think that's amazing. Like, even to go into radio, so you've had like an array of different things that you've done, which have all been really successful, which is it's really nice. It's really nice to see that you've done stage and radio as well, and obviously TV now as well. So
I know TV's just never imagined, but thank you.
Brilliant. So, Balvinder, who's been your inspiration in life? Have you had anybody in particular that's inspired you in your own life?
Oh, it's a really hard question, because I think don't think there's just one person who's inspired me. We live such a long, varied life that different people at different stages of your life touch you in a way that makes you go, I want to do this, or I can do this, and many of them are women, and also some of them are men, my mum and my dad, of course, and then I look at my uncle and aunt, and then my sister is one of them as well, but then she comes from the same strand I do, so I understand her choices, and I admire her for making the choices that she does, right? And then in a rehearsal room, it might not necessarily be, a director, it might be a new actor that kind of shows you something that you've never imagined, or just somebody you might have a chat with on the street, like, that might inspire you to do something. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many moments that make you go, yeah, I want to do this, or I could do that, or wow, just profound moments that just fill you up as a human being, and you can then use in your work and your life. So inspiration is everywhere, I would say. I know that sounds really cliched, but you just have to be open to it, and that's how I sort of live.
No, that is really nice. And you're right, you could sometimes have a conversation with a complete stranger, and what they say could really inspire you, or, as you said, you can look at your parents, your siblings, and they inspire you as well. So you're right, it could be anybody that could inspire you. You just got to, as you said, be open to the inspiration, and it can really help your life. I think that's really nice.
No, I think people, when people ask that question, I think they're often looking for, kind of well-known names of people that are in the public eye and all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, of course, because they've managed to achieve their dreams. But there's also, auntie that lives at number 27, or somebody that the corner shop down the road, do you know what I mean, who have worked daily and have kept things going even when COVID happened, or have come to give you food, or you've sat and been able to have a very honest and frank conversation with. Those are the heroes, those are the people that inspire you to continue. Do you know what I mean? And so I think for me, it's anybody that hits me here, that gets me in my heart, that makes me go, I want to continue doing what I do, and the messages that I receive, they're really inspirational. People that connect with me via books, they're really inspirational. So there's so much to be had from life, I think. And also, the universe, like connecting with your own, your own connection with the divine. Everything has a way of showing itself to you. You just have to be open to it. So it's all inspirational.
It is. Everything's an inspiration, as you said. You just got to be open to it, believe in it, and it can take you anywhere you need it to go. And so can I just ask you, if somebody's looking to start acting, do you have any tips for them on mindset, or anything that could help them to get into the acting profession?
So the first thing I would always say is that if you're going to get into it for another reason than making money.
Yeah.
Because it is a sustainable career, but it's feast or famine, right? You can be working for 6 months to a year non-stop, and then the next year will be barren, right? It's not instant rise to fame, and it's hard work. But if you're prepared to put in the hard work, and you're prepared to wait, and you're prepared to understand that you are in it to make a difference, then go for it and make that difference. And above all, enjoy what you do, and then everything else will come. That's what I would say. And I think that's with anything in life, not just necessarily acting. I think it's anything. Just make sure that you have a actual proper reason for going into it. Purpose, isn't it? People talk about purpose. You need a purpose, and it's got to be completely the opposite direction of trying to earn money, because that's, I mean, of course money will drive you somewhere else, I think. But I know we've got to pay the bills, and I know all of that is essential and stuff, but I just think, making a difference your driving factor.
Yeah, fantastic tips there, Balvinder. And I think there must be a lot of young people out there that want to get into your profession. They see you on, for example, on EastEnders and other soap operas, and think, well, if Balvinder can do this, then so can I. And I think it's great that one of the things that you have said is follow your passion, make sure you've got a purpose for what you're doing. And that's huge, because if you don't have a purpose, then where's your outcome? And I think that's great that you've touched on that point, because it's your purpose that will take you somewhere, and even make you even successful. I think that's great.
Well, I think also there's this thing is like, when you've made a decision to do something, you sort of unconsciously put steps in place to make you reach your goal.
Yeah.
Which you might not necessarily know that that's what you're doing, So, for example, look, all I knew is that I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be telling stories and making a difference in people's lives. That was my goal. And so I didn't go to drama school, because I feared drama would take out my raw natural ability, and that I would, be sort of thrown in, spun around and churned out as somebody completely different. And what I think is strength, and what they're doing more so now, is finding the sort of essence of a person. Do you know what I mean? So I might approach text and voice in a very different way to, say, a trained actor, right? Of course, training is good. Everybody needs a bit of training, but I think the best training that anyone can get is on the job, particularly with something like acting. So go to community theatre, go to your local, classes that are run by, drama teachers and all that kind of stuff, or join a theatre group, or write your own stuff, get together with some friends, and put something together. And there's plenty of platforms available now that weren't when I was growing up, like YouTube and TikTok, and even Instagram and stuff like that. You can film little reels of an idea of a soap, or something that kind of pushes you to tell the story about different characters. Film it, edit it together, and stick it on social media and see what happens. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but just sort of, when you make the decision to do something, you always find a way of getting one step closer to that end goal.
Yeah, you're right. And those are great tips, like, go onto YouTube, put things onto YouTube, see what reaction you get. And I think they're great tips that you've said, and hopefully it will help our viewers if anybody wants to get into that profession. You've given some incredible advice there, some really good light bulb moments. So thank you for that. Those are really good tips. Actually, I'm going to take some of those on board myself. Thank you.
Welcome.
So Balvinder, tell me, you must have, on your journey as an actress, as in theatre, as in stage or radio, you must have encountered some funny stories or anything funny that's happened to you. Please tell us about something that's happened that has been quite funny for you in your whole journey of your stage, radio, or even acting.
Oh God, that's a hard one. Oh God, I can't think from the top of my head now. Let's just say every day is a funny day, because it is, like you might have loads of, like you might come prepared with your script, and you might go on to sort of do the scene, and then you forget your lines and come out with something completely different, and everyone's like, what did you just say? Like, I don't know, I just made something up. There was one time actually I was doing a show. It was called Running Wild, and we were at, I can't remember what theatre we were at, but I played this sort of care worker for orangutans, when it was an orangutan surgery, if you like, and my character had to bring on some soup for the young actress who had been sort of kind of found herself here on a ride of an elephant, and she was sort of battered and bruised, and so the soup was to kind of keep her happy and mend her and bring her back to herself and help her find her way home. And I came on, I think, about 10 minutes too early, and I just stood there with this bowl of soup and the other actors are like sort of carrying on with the scene, and then I thought, I'm here too early, so then I walked off. Oh, no. And then I came back on again. I mean, nobody would know, but it just looked very odd, and sort of the other actors sort of started laughing. And actually in that same show I was punched in the face by a puppet, because we had to sort of and so one of my colleagues, he's literally like, because we were playing sort of naughty orangutans, little ones, and literally he just punched me in the face. And of course we're on stage at that moment, so all of us were just like that.
Oh no.
Because we're laughing, so you could just see our shoulders getting so funny. And as we walked off, we literally fell about laughing off stage. It was just, I mean, those are small moments for me that were very hilarious. I mean, for somebody watching, you wouldn't have known, and of course maybe for your viewers it's not so funny. But in moments like that, you've really got to try and keep your composure and hold it until you get upset or off stage. So yeah,
but that's nice, Balvinder, because we as viewers, if we were watching that performance, we probably wouldn't have known, but it's the fact that it's all going on behind scenes and you're having a great laugh while you're doing your job. I think that's quite cool in itself. That's quite nice, and I think that's quite funny that you just you have those moments. They make the moment bigger and amazing and more fun to work. So that's really nice.
Memorable as well.
Memorable. That's the right word. Balvinder, it's really been so nice to hear about all your successes and how you've achieved all your goals, through every avenue, so like stage performances, radio, acting. It's been incredible, and it just shows how you've got strength, perseverance to get through all of these things. You've empowered yourself as a woman as well to get to where you've got to, which is excellent. And the Kalgidhar Trust is a charity that helps underprivileged women with this as well. They help underprivileged women with the Train the Teacher programme, and what that does, it is a 3-year programme that helps them to become teachers. So the viewers would sponsor a woman through the www.educatetosave.com website. And so Balvinder, as an actress in your profession, how important do you think it is to help underprivileged women to become empowered through education? Like, obviously you've been through education yourself. How important is this for women in today's society?
Incredibly important. I think education should be for everybody, but of course women seem to get the raw end of the deal, unfortunately, on many occasions. But I also think opportunity is important, the opportunity to either go and be educated or to pursue a career that you want to, and I think because when we educate people, we're able to then change the world, we're able to change the course of the future, and then you sort of create an arena for different ideas and philosophies and emotions, and it just means that we're putting sound, open-minded strong, empowered individuals into our world. So I think absolutely education is one of the highest things that we can offer people, and not everybody has access to. So the charity does an amazing thing, actually, and particularly for women. I think women, we know what it's like in some parts of the world where education is not awarded to women because we're only supposed to be there to make babies and cook and clean, which of course we can create babies, but if you're not going to teach those babies to how to be in the world, what's the point? Men have huge armies. Where do those armies come from? Women are the ones that give birth to your armies. So if you're not going to educate people, and women in particular, what's the point of anything that you do?
Yeah. It breaks cycles, as you said. We're breaking cycles of poverty by helping women, underprivileged women, with the gift of education. We're helping them to break cycles, so it opens more doors for them. And we know what it's like here, how hard it is to get through some doors sometimes with your education, with your career, with anything in life. But to help another human being, another woman, to become empowered, it's such an honourable thing to do, because we're literally helping another human being to get to the next level.
It's also making them realise. It's making them realise their power and potential, right? Yeah. Which is their God-given right. Yeah. So who is anybody to take away that right? So and it is about creating change, and that change can only come when people are educated enough to make a further change down the road. And I think it's incredible what the charity are doing. Obviously they're helping underprivileged women, and I would encourage the viewers to please look at www.educatetosave.com website. There you can easily sponsor a woman for education, and it's incredible initiative. They've already got I believe it's 2 or 3 universities all set up that are helping women, and once they go through the train the teacher program, they can then go on to teach. So they've already got a job for them at the Agal academies that the Kalgidhar Trust provides. So it's incredible. I mean, to go through that program, instead, you've got 2 choices where your life can be. If you didn't have education, where would your life be? But if you're going through education and you do the train the teacher program, your life could completely change. You could be, training as a teacher and then go and live in another country. It's just, it's incredible to see how the Kalgidhar Trust are helping empowered women through this. And I think I would encourage all the viewers to please look at www.educatetosave.com. Please help us empower women, such as Balvinder. She's done extremely well in her career and she's become empowered through education. And so we can also help women through this as well. Balvinder, the Kalgidhar Trust also help children as well. So they help empower children through education. So this is a great initiative the Kalgidhar Trust have done. What are your thoughts on helping children with education as well, underprivileged children? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think again, we are giving people an opportunity, or the charity is giving people an opportunity to lift themselves out of poverty, or a sort of life that they don't want, to create the life that they do want. It gives them choices and options and paths new to travel, and I think it's absolutely important. Like, again, you start young, you teach children at a young age, they become human beings who will then create and care for the world that they live in. If we don't know how to look after each other and the world from a very early age, we're not going to do that when we get to 20, 30, 40. Do you know what I mean? I think education is key for everybody. And also, underprivileged means that, that at least those young people feel like somebody is caring for them as well. They feel like they have an importance and a place in the world, that they're not just another person born into poverty and are unable to do something with their lives and help somebody else. So it's also about giving someone else self-respect and just elevating the self a little bit. So I think we should be teaching and educating everyone and anyone at the, get them young.
Get them young, you're right. And obviously, the Kalgidhar Trust help underprivileged children. They could be like orphans, or they could be farmers' children, and they don't have the means of finances for an education. And you never know who you can be educating, who they can become as well. You just don't know, because they don't have the opportunity. And I think it's important for us to encourage the viewers to please help, please help, and help children, help women to become empowered. We're living in a society now where it's hard enough as it is, but to help underprivileged children, to help underprivileged women, it's an honourable thing to do. And we never know, we could get the next prime minister or astronaut, we just don't know, actress, we just don't know. So I think it's important to, as you said, Balvinder, to help underprivileged women and children. So thank you for saying that. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to give back.
Yeah, that's it. So we're coming to the end of the show, Balvinder, and firstly I just wanted to say thank you so much. It's been, for me, the most humble and incredible opportunity to get to know you, and honestly, it's been incredible. And I just wondered if you had any last words that you wanted to say to our viewers, or any special message you had for our viewers today.
I think, thank you very much first off for having me, and for watching this interview, and for supporting all the work that I do, but also that the channel does. I think it's a really important thing that you guys at the channel are doing. You're opening up people's minds, you're allowing people to engage with something that they might not necessarily, again, have access or opportunity to. So I think whilst the facility is there for your viewers, they should absolutely take advantage of it and support wherever they can. And also be fit and healthy, look after yourselves, look after your families. Like you said earlier, it is a hard time, and I think giving back is the only way that we can elevate our communities and our humanity, really. So yes, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly, it's been incredible to get to know you. I have got one last thing though. I just wanted to ask you. Well, as I'm Dali and my surname's Panesar, do you think there's any way I could get any part in EastEnders? I could come as myself as Dali Panesar.
So I said, well, no, you could be a mussy, couldn't you? You could be Suki's mussy, Suki's sister, and then you could be mussy to the kids. I mean, that would be great. I've got Harp's Call wanting to come on as mussy as well, or maybe a Bua. You could be Nishandeep's sister.
I mean, I had to ask, Belle. I had to ask. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can have you on. I'll speak to the producers.
Yeah, that's it, viewers. You never know. No, but thank you, Belle. Honestly, I have to just say it's been incredible to get to know you, and I think you're the most humblest person I have ever met in my life. You're such a lovely person to get to know, and I really hope we can continue this friendship. And honestly, you're such an amazing person, and from myself and the viewers, we wish you all the success in any endeavour that you take in your life. And we just wanted to say thank you so much. It really means a lot to me that you've kindly taken time out to come on the show today and speak to me. It means an awful lot. So thank you so much for coming on the show. And we've had this incredible hour of conversation. It means so much. So thank you so much. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. I think the same sentiments back to you. And of course we should keep in touch. And just allowing me to come on to your channel and speak to you, and also speak to the audience via you, I think is a really wonderful opportunity. And they come by very infrequently. So I'm honoured that you invited me, so thank you very much.
No, the honour is all ours, so thank you so much, Balvinder. And so to the viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this incredible interview with Balvinder Sopal. We've had an amazing time getting to know Balvinder and all the amazing things that she's done in her career, and I hope this encourages you all to help underprivileged women, empower women through the Train the Teacher programme, and encourage you to look at www.educatetosave.com. The links will be on the screen if you want to help and take Balvinder's advice as well, how we can encourage and help empower women and children, and, you know, help them to get where they need to be as well. So thank you so much for watching, and we really hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you again, Balvinder, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.